Jerry Jones' big old grapefruits. He's like the Vince McMahon of NFL. But I mean, like whatever, man. Should we talk about the? Yeah, actually, we'll do the Monday night games last. Actually, no, it doesn't really matter, does it? Fuck it. Who cares?
It doesn't matter. Let's
Cowboys.
Let's
Cowboys
talk about
hosting,
the Cowboys.
Let's talk about them Cowboys.
Let's talk about how Zeke likes to drop the ball on the carpet.
I'm not surprised with the amount of fucking nose rings and everything he's got going on. If you put a magnet on that keys, you get a sack immediately. Like, he had a bad game, and with Dak Prescott going down, the red rifle Andy Dalton is far past his prime, and like I said on the Twitter account, more like Red Rocket from South Park, because frankly he looked like he was getting beaten off like a dog. Terrible. Andy Dalton, right, he's okay. He could do a job, but let's not forget that when he was in his prime, or at least when he was successful for the Cincinnati Bengals, he had AJ Green in his prime, one of the greatest athletic wide receivers, at least in his prime, like I say. You had Chad Ochocinco. It just, you had weapons, yes, guys. Once in a lifetime athletes. These are stud athletes, these wide receivers. AJ Green, especially. Who can forget when he front flips into the end zone and lands with his feet? It's an insane moment. Yeah. So cool. Andy Dalton, you can't say that the Cowboys don't have weapons. Got loads of them. And with Dak Prescott, we've seen them, we saw them play I think it was the Falcons and the Browns, a ridiculous amount of points on offense, can score for days, but their defense is garbage. People are not talking about it because they're all getting blindsided by, Dak Prescott's injured, and, oh, no, Andy Dalton's had to come in, and, Zeke keeps dropping the ball. And it's like, can we just acknowledge that the Cowboys are not nearly as good as they think they are? Do you know who they remind me of? Arsenal, mate. They talk a massive game. They play some lovely football and offense, but when it comes down to it, they don't win anything of meaning, and they end up sitting behind all the usual people in the NFL who are better than them. They're not a Patriots. They're not a dynasty. They're not a high-octane franchise like the Saints or the Bucks right now, or even Green Bay, who have really built a nice little kind of legacy for themselves.
Or this team right here. This team right here.
Yeah. I wonder what you were doing because your arm kept disappearing. I was just like, "What? You got a fly around you or something?" Like,
I don't know how it. Okay.
Yeah. Black and yellow.
It is pretty bad. I do want to acknowledge that I did watch this game, for the most part.
Can we talk about Kyler Murray?
I was about to say, Kyler Murray threw the ball to himself and got a first down. Like, how the fuck is that possible?
That's a kid, right? I see Kyler Murray, right? He's good. And if he could get some more weapons, Arizona Cardinals could be lethal. One of their biggest problems, again, defense. It's reasonable. Like, they put a hurting on, and their confidence is going to be sky high after this game. But, Kyler Murray, man, I see a player like that, and I think, how the fuck does John Elway go in for fucking Joe Flacco? How does he draft Trevor Siemian? Kyler Murray sitting there. You see some of these. This is a case of, do you know what, the Cardinals, they may not necessarily be a highly successful franchise, but they always do really well. They draft do you know what else as well? They draft really solid, dependable, nice players. They're like the gentlemen of the NFL. They never seem to cause too much trouble. They're almost like Fulham, when Fulham were a half-decent home side back in the day in the Premier League. Like, yeah, they're not going to win anything, but they're a nice team. Who hates the Cardinals? It's not like a 49ers fan wakes up and goes, "Oh, God, I fucking hate the Cardinals. They piss me off." Like, nobody hates the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's a nice guy. He's got rapid pace as well. People forget about that. He could be a running back. He's a good player. And, they've had a couple of losses where you thought, what the hell just happened there? Teddy Bridgewater went off on one for the Carolina Panthers against them a couple of weeks ago. They also lost to the Lions, which, Stafford's a weird one as well, because you think he's either going to be world-class or he's going to be terrible. You don't know Stafford. He's another one of my man crushes, though, because he's just so inconsistent but so beautiful. But, it's what can you say? The Cowboys, massively overrated. And they have been at 500 or just above that for quite some time. They've been going back and forth the majority of the time with the Eagles, and then of course the Giants when they went to 2 Super Bowls, and obviously you can't see the Giants doing nothing. You know, Saquon Barkley goes down, he got no running game, he got no weapons. Jones is, like I say, massively, massively overrated. This is actually the league of hilariously overrated teams. You know, and the NFC East has always been a little bit like that in a lot of ways. Remember, the Eagles for so long flattered to deceive, kept getting to the AFC Championship, got to Super Bowl once, but just, you know, Reid couldn't get them just that extra level, which is why it's so nice that you won a, you know, a Super Bowl with Kansas, because you feel like he's one of the coaches that deserved one most. But yeah, you know what? I like the Cardinals. It's a good performance. Again, I don't think they've got enough to squeeze into the playoffs, particularly in their division. Because obviously Seattle are just trouncing most people.
San
But you never know.
And LA.
Well, San Francisco, you know, I'm not feeling San Francisco. They're okay, but I've seen a lot of frailties, and after seeing what the Dolphins did to them, there's problems there. There's definitely problems there. And then obviously, you know, like you say, you got LA in there, the Rams, who are good, but not great. You know. The Rams are a weird one. Like, they'll get results. The Rams are one of those teams. They're just quiet. Remember when they got to the Super Bowl? They kind of snuck in the back door. Nobody was paying attention to them. Like, Jared Goff just kind of wormed his way in while people weren't paying attention. So you got to pay attention to them. But I think the Rams and, you know, the Seahawks are just too good.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, they're only 2 or 3 weapons away from being a very, very dangerous and potent offense. The problem is he hasn't got too much to throw to. So, you know, but no, good game. Always nice to see the Cowboys get humbled, because I'm so sick of their fans telling me how they're America's team all the time. America's team is basically a 500 outfit. Great. Doesn't really scream land of the hope and free, land of the free, and, you know, home of the brave and all that nonsense, does it really?
Right. It's sad. I've got a bunch of Dallas fans that I know, and I had to wash them really bad for this one.
What's the matter? You really struggling for friends these days or something?
No. I have friends.
Don't hang around with people from Texas. Yeah, you heard me. And that includes you, Houston. Oh, we're coming to you.
Oh, fuck.